Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you, and it is a dreary, rainy day. Despite the weather, I figured I'd try to do this review outside. Today, my 350 V2s in the bone colorway showed up. I hit on the confirmed app for these. I guess I did hit the blue tint 350 V2s, and I was pumped about that, but I struck out on the dazzling blues, the Oreos, and I wasn't expecting to get the W on these, but I'm definitely glad I did. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's look at these 350 V2 Yeezys in the bone colorway. I did not realize it is as rainy as what it is out here. I am probably going to end up soaked by the end of this, but I think the lighting's actually pretty good, so we'll give it a go. So just like always, we'll start with the box. I saw these referred to as the pure oat, and some other people were just calling them the all white, pure white, that sort of thing. On the label it says bone, 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 so I don't know if that pure oat is just something that people started calling them, or if they were thinking about making that the name or what, but on the label it just says bone, 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 350 on the top, boost labeling on the side, just like all 350 V2s. Here's a look at the tag. Yeezy Boost 350 V2. This is a size 10.5. The color, as I said, is bone, bone, bone. Retail on these was $230, and as mentioned, I got them on the confirmed app. And then getting right to it, here they are. I really like these things. I really, really like these things. I was actually a little bit worried about seeing that it was triple white, and I saw some people say that they were just really bright white, but I don't think they're like pure white. I feel like there's a hint of cream in them, and like my sweater I consider tan, but this isn't as dark as my sweater, but they're definitely not just bright white, which I think is good. Because if they were like bright white, like as bright as the fence, I feel like dirt would have just shown up really, really bad. And even though you can like clean prime it sometimes, I feel like it would have just left it looking dingy. But I'm a little bit relieved to see that it's not like a bright white. It's not like the shoes I'm wearing I consider bright white, but this is more of like an off-white or like an antique white even, and sometimes I almost feel like it's got just a hint of yellow in it, like the Butters or something. Not quite as much, but I feel like it's just got this really, really pale yellow hue to it. And that's part of why I wanted to do the review outside too, because it seems like every light that I look at them in gives it kind of just a little bit different of a shade. But I really, really like these. I think they look great. Another thing that I was apprehensive about before I got these in hand was just hearing multiple places that this Yeezy was going to have a certain percentage of recycled material in it. And like, I don't know how much recycled material it has in it, but if you're like me, sometimes you hear that shoes have recycled material, and it kind of gives you pause, just because sometimes that means that the quality isn't going to feel like as supple, and sometimes I feel like you have to sacrifice a little bit of comfort if you're getting a shoe that is made with recycled content, just because it can be more stiff and not as soft and that sort of thing. But this knit feels great. These are just as soft as any 350 V2 that I've had, and actually they kind of feel even softer, which really, really surprises me. My first impression of these are just that they look really high end. I think they look really fancy. I think with like wedding season coming up and that sort of thing, or even if you're like at the beach or somewhere like that, I think these are going to be perfect for the warmer weather, and I just think they're dope. I think they're really, really nice. I wouldn't wear them on a day like this, you know, whenever the rain's coming down and everything, but I think they're very wearable. I think they'll be more forgiving than what I initially thought that they might be. And it's a 350 V2 all in one color. So to me, that's a win in and of itself. But I really, really like these things. And now starting with the outsole, it does look like the outsole is a little bit more yellow, or like it's just got a little bit more of a tint than what the midsole does, and we see that a lot. But it's got these cutouts where you can see the Boost cushioning through there, which I'm a big fan of. And also on the heel you can see that it spells out Boost. And this is just like a milky kind of translucent material, but it's pretty close to what we get on all of our other 350 V2s. Then wrapping up, it's just a little bit lighter where you see all these ribs on the midsole. And again, you can see that it's kind of translucent. You can see the Boost through there. And then on the back, you can just barely see a little bit of contrast where that material from the outsole wraps up and it's in between that midsole color. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but to me, I can just see it's a little bit darker right here where that outsole material wraps up. But it just looks nice. Looks so clean. Such a classy looking shoe. And I can't get over how soft they are. But moving up to the upper of the shoe, just like all 350 V2s or most 350 V2s, it's just got that real unique looking knit. And like a lot of other 350 V2s, it's got different patterns of the knit, which give it kind of like different textures throughout. On the inside of the shoe, you can see it goes from having all this texture and all these patterns in the front to being really smooth, which I think that's kind of cool. And then on the outside of the shoe, of course, you can see you've got all this texture. Then about halfway back, it gets smooth again, but you also get this kind of transparent stripe. So you'll be able to see like what socks you're wearing through there. So you can kind of, you know, if you want to coordinate your socks and put a little bit of color in there, I'm sure that would shine through pretty cool. But then moving back, they did give us a heel tab on this one, and I'm kind of indifferent to that. I'm sure it would have looked good without it, but it looks fine with it too. That doesn't really, I don't go either way with that. I've seen some people say, oh, I definitely want to have a heel tab. I've seen some people say they don't like the heel tabs. For me, it doesn't really change the shoe that much, but I don't know. Let me know what you all think about them. Another thing that I really like about Yeezys is just the seam that goes up the middle. It really reminds me of like on the Zebras or, you know, many other Yeezys where you can see just this stitching and this kind of thicker thread going up the seam in the middle. And of course it fits like a sock. There's no like separate tongue or anything. The laces are just like normal Yeezy laces, just kind of like a rope style, and the color matches the rest of the shoe pretty much perfectly. And then around the ankle we have just some white piping, or this bone colored piping. It doesn't really have any contrast to the rest of the shoe either. And then the sock liner is white, and the insole on this one says Yeezy and has that 3-stripe Adidas emblem, and that's the right shoe. But on the left shoe, we have this white insole that has like the earth and then spells out Yeezy in black. So that's kind of different too. But let me know what you guys think of these. I think these are awesome, and I'm glad to have them in my size. You all have a good one.